Good evening and welcome to round 5 of the GT4 Championship here at a event which HSR and ifwl.net have kindly hosted. And right now we're looking at the pits. And we are blessed with amazing weather today at Snetterton. We have a couple of cars out on track, getting ready, testing our new setups in what is going to be our penultimate race of this season. So as it turns out, we've only got 12 drivers on the circuit right now. Nice laid back and chilling, doing laps around the circuit. Doing what we do best. And you can see Hanak has just appeared in the pits there with his very striking and memorable Lightning McQueen themed livery. So instead of looking at the pits from our incredibly still helicopter, why don't we jump on board with Davies, number 10. He is driving a Jetta. So as always, just me in the commentary box today. I'll be taking you through the race, the journey, that is round 5 at Snetterton. We'll also be going over a few factoids. I'll keep you well informed of what the race corners are called. And as always, delivering myself excited, distracted, and did I mention distracted? Yeah, I did, yeah. Just bringing myself, really. So, as we're watching Davies on board, that was Rich's corner. As you come out there, you're still maintaining a high speed at 5th gear, down into 2nd into Montreal. Oh, his tyres need to be a little bit warmer on this fast conditions. Coming up to Palmer corner now. Comes down into 3rd gear. Down another blisteringly fast straight. And this corner is called Agostini. We shall find out more about that particular corner name shortly. Another blisteringly fast straight. We fast into Hamilton. And then onto the hairpin known as Oggles. I do apologise, it's actually Oggies. Then we come up to Williams Straight with nearly the fastest and longest straight of the circuit. Where as we approach the end of this straight, there is a complex of 2 corners, the first of which being Brundle, and then entering Nelson. Going flat out for the next corner, which is Bomb Hole. Just a slight ease off the gas there. Then going into the long right-hand sweep, that is Coram. And finally, as we approach the end of this long corner, we turn onto Murray's. And we hammer it down on the start-finish straight. And we get to see what time Davies has achieved. He has achieved a 2 minute on the nose and 200th of a second. I shan't embarrass you any further, Mr. Davies. I shall jump on board with someone else. jumping on board with our commentator, as our resident Texan likes to refer to us as, us breed, Mr. Mayor and myself, Adam Ty. I'll allow you to watch Yanis in what seems like a symmetrical opposition to what we saw of Davies' machine. Of course, this is a European car, and unlike us Brits, most of the rest of the world drive on the left-hand side. I do apologise, our wheels are on the left-hand side. We drive on the left, everyone else drives on the right. Oh. And Mr. Mayor ducks into the pits. And takes a little comfort break. So let's take a look at the standings as we have from after round 4. In the lead by a striking amount of points is Lucas Hanak with 77 points. It's 33 points clear of Fabio Suarez driving the Aston Martin with 44 points. And what a race that was last weekend. When I say last weekend, the virtual weekend. Of course, in real life it's just a Wednesday. Don't we all wish that every day is a weekend? Wait. And then we have Mishk in third. Coincidentally, car number 3. Is it to be? We shall see. More lyrical genius on the way. Mishk is only 2 points behind Suarez with 42 points. Followed by Turner, the front runner of IFWL. Car number 66 with 40 points. Followed by Ostracharts with 39 points. Visor has 37. Reynolds with 21. And Mark Raddenbury with 16. I wonder what this race is going to give us in the way of points after this penultimate race. All could change between positions 2nd and 6th. Certainly looking forward to seeing what those results are going to come out as. And with Craig Hewlett and Dayringer in 9th and 10th respectively. Having a look at the silver standings, we have Adam Douglas sporting car number 416. Same kind of ratio of points as his gold counterpart in first place with 77 points. Maybe it's the lucky 7s. Followed by Yanis Mayer with 49 points. Driving what looks like a tiny dinky winky Porsche badge, which will have to get corrected. Followed by Josh Redhead, which is in 3rd place. Car number 9, 45 points. Driving the Mercedes. Followed by Josh and Jim Yanis. I do apologise if I haven't pronounced your name correctly. Yanis Livanios with 18 points, as has Mark Jackson driving the Audi today with 18 points. That's a neck and neck. Again, some more shake-up with the points due to come. Followed by Jordan Bubbins, is also in the Porsche with 4 points, followed by Craig Alford at the back. And then finally, taking a look, last but not least, at the bronze standings. James Orsley is leading the pack with 51 points, certainly clear of Ruben Worth with 39 points. Again, a tiny, tiny Porsche badge. Must get onto the art department about that. Me. And in 3rd place in the bronze category is Freddie Davies, 38 points. Followed by Richard Lysett Dylan Matthews, Daniel Raksani. Apologies again if I haven't pronounced your name correctly. I do welcome your feedback in name pronunciations. You can catch me on Discord anytime, and you can give me a verbal whooping, as you so please. Followed by John Mello again, if your name's not pronounced correctly. And I think you're driving a Porsche, actually. I don't know what's happened with the graphics. Yeah, I might have to get a new graphics team for that. And then we have Way Bowler in 8th with 24 points. Followed by Smith and Puller with 20 and 15 points respectively. So again, the middle pack is certainly set to see some shake-up with the points today. We saw Mr. Mello come in 3rd place, which undoubtedly pushed him up the ranks in bronze category. Last round at Spa, Suarez had the lead stolen from him at the last few corners. What a huge upset that was. And taking a look at the race schedule, of course, today is July the 10th. Every Wednesday at 7 o'clock on the nose. That's when we start our practice session. That lasts for an hour. And then we have a qualifying session, which lasts 20 minutes. The first of 10 minutes is the bronze and silver categories, fighting for a place on the grid. With the last 10 minutes closed by the gold category. Then after that, we are here for the main event. The big cheese. The Grande Hamburger. That is the race, which lasts an hour. And there is a 1 mandatory pit stop required. Refueling is also required, along with a tyre change. Let's hope today doesn't bring any rain at the moment during practice. We're looking at a track temperature of 26 degrees. No, sorry, I always get this wrong. Track temperature of 34 and an ambient temperature of 26 degrees. Will we ever see that in the UK again this summer? I honestly don't know. It's just sweaty and muggy and nasty these days. But the grand finale is next week, July the 17th on a Wednesday, and that is Brands Hatch. That is one of my favourite circuits. So going back, oh, we caught Mr. Mayor having a bad time on the grass there. Let's jump over to our front runner of the gold category, Mr. Hanak. See, his team name suggests it's Rusty's, but his colours just tell me it's Lightning McQueen. And Mr. Hanak has just completed a practice lap of 1 minute 57, which is not quite, it's a whole second, oh, we have someone else in the grass there. It's a whole second behind Mr. Visor, who's also driving a Porsche today. Let's take a look at how he's getting on. And there's the sign confetti all over the circuit. I'm sure that's going to get cleaned up for qualifying. Let's jump on board with Visor and have a look at how he is getting on. Visor has come over from Open Lobby Racing, as the team name suggests. It's really lovely to see so many communities coming together on Discord and battling it out amongst the virtual tribes. Of course, if you're interested in joining one of these communities, I 100% recommend you do that if you are into the virtual motorsport scene, specifically in Assetto Corsa Competizione. Oh, there's lots of people in the dirt today. But as I was saying, I must as our resident HSR commentator, strongly recommend that you join HSR. And of course, ifwl.net. And I'm going to have to bolt on a legal disclaimer to say all other Discord communities are available. So enough of my waffle. I'll let you enjoy a lap with Visor. It looks like he's about to prepare himself for a nice fast lap. So I shall keep my ferme la bouche, and off Visor goes for his fast lap. And just one more thing. If you hear some hisses, crackles and pops, it's not your ears playing tricks, it's definitely me opening a can of apple juice. So if you're just joining us now, as I did promise that I'll keep my mouth shut and let Visor do his racing. But if you're just joining us, this is the GT4 Championship, hosted by HSR and ifwl.net. We are currently on round 5 at sunny Snetterton. And Visor is having some very interesting sideways crab moves. I would love to know what those moves are and how you get those hacks on board. But in all seriousness, it may be a connection issue. I really hope that's not the case, because I've hardwired this machine this week. So now, as we come out of William Straight, I shall keep my mouth shut and enjoy the racing. Oh, and that was a 1:56.3, and that isn't, no, that actually his last is a 1:57. I thought I had a big enough monitor, to be honest. 34-inch widescreen. I'm streaming on a 27, just for the commentary pieces, but the main screen is a 34-inch widescreen, and I think I need a bigger monitor. Yeah. Visor going sideways onto the grass there confirms that I should. So if anyone is feeling charitable, hit me up. Love to know your thoughts. Okay, let's jump on board with Mr. Raddenbury. He's also driving a Porsche. I think I mentioned at the start that I was going to call this the halfway Porsche Cup, didn't I? Or Porsche Cayman, other cars are optional championship. Well, we are not disappointed because we also have a Porsche. So getting a good look at the circuit here. Lots of ridiculously preened grass for everyone to go skidding on, which Mr. Raddenbury is avoiding for now. But fear not, we may or may not see some other cars doing it in the meantime. But in the meantime, let's enjoy Mr. Raddenbury in the positive perception Porsche Cayman, coming out of Williams Corner and heading down Bentley Straight. There in the background, I believe you could see Mr. Mello's number 85 Porsche Cayman. And there's Mr. Raddenbury arriving at the Brundle-Nelson complex, maintaining some very good control going through those tricky corners. I must say, the TV camera work today is on point. There's going to be some very great angles in today's stream. And that takes Mr. Raddenbury to a 158.2. He's currently 5th in the table. And also in the grass. As I mentioned, he may or may not enjoy the grass at some point. And for your viewing pleasure, there is Mr. Raddenbury's very subtle, understated livery. Let's just take a look at that. Let's do a fly around. Taking a look at this livery, number 750. As he comes out of the pits, ready to do another round. Let's have another little look at his livery there. Love your work, Mark. Love your work. Jumping on board with Yanis now. This work was actually done by our resident Texan, Mr. Mello. If you missed last week, you would have heard me describe Yanis as the Golden Gazelle, because in some of the camera angles you may see there is what looks like a four-legged creature, and I can't confirm if it's actually a gazelle or not, but I'm sure I will be corrected if it's wrong. But me being me, I enjoy giving people nicknames on the track. So while Mr. Mayor takes a pit stop, he's jumping on board with Ostracharts, who has a very understated livery. It's very Knight Ridery. I wonder if he's named his car Kit. I do wonder. Jumping on board with Mr. Smith, who is driving an Aston Martin today. Very electric colours coming on that livery right there. It looks like Will Smith has headed over from Optimum Motorsport. My second choice for this GT4 Championship, had I been racing it, would have been the Aston. I am a huge Aston advocate. A very well balanced car. An absolute beast. I love the roar of that V8. Can't get enough of it. But what a touch on those colours. That is some great work there, Will. I think it's about time I put my fan on. It's getting a bit warm in here. So there go the fan blades, indicating office temperatures are eking into the let's go home temperature. We don't want to leave you without a commentator, do we? We need a blithering idiot to fill in the gaps while you're going through your race. And that's me. Lucky you. Let's jump on board with Will. See how he tackles his line. Now remember, this is a fast circuit, so we're not very well rubbered up just yet. But I'm sure as more drivers pile onto the circuit, we're going to see some more traction coming in, especially coming out of that corner of Oggies. And Will's really pushing the limits of that Aston Martin, coming down Bentley Straight. Looking over his wing, you can see Mr. Hanak has got the sideways.exe going on. Pre-production didn't get the memo. So jumping back over. And Mr. Smith has taken a pit stop in the grass. Don't forget camping chairs. Oh no, he's taken a stop. Okay. To be honest, if someone was flashing their lights at me like that going down the A30, I wouldn't be too happy myself. But there you go, there you go. Mr. Smith got the memo. He's pulled over, and while we're here, let's take a look at that livery, shall we? So, jumping out of the car, in the rear view. His livery is sponsored by Lowry Demolition. As we scroll around the car, a group of companies known as M. O'Brien is also sponsoring his vehicle today, and Willow Hire. There we go. Big shout out to those companies. And then, of course, we have our motorsport related companies on the livery today. And just having a look on the top there, we have Optimum Motorsport. And then looking at the detail of the wing mirrors, oh, that's a nice little trick. It looks like the Irish flag on the right hand side. Yeah, very good. I really like your work there. Nice work, Mr. Smith. Nice work. Okay, jumping on board with Way Bowler. He hails from IFWL. You can't miss those liveries. That nice mint green, blue. I can't really tell my greens and blues these days. With the black and white accent. Certainly is a eye-catching colour scheme, and you will not be able to miss them on the circuit. And Mr. Bowler is over from the bronze category, also driving a Porsche. And he's doing very well. It's like round 5. I don't believe he's had any non-starts to any races so far. Consistency is the key in this game. Keep showing up and you will reap the reward. Ooh. And Mr. Bowler's taking it nice and wide. Again, pushing the limits of the Porsche. I've seen more Porsches in the grass than I have any other car. So I wonder if this layout, this particular circuit geometry is not for the Porsche, which might be a term for the books for the other constructors that are present in today's race. But as it stands, Mr. Bowler is holding first place in the bronze category. Adam Douglas in the Aston Martin. Oh, I love that car. With car number 416 for silver. And Hanak has actually managed to find his time. And yeah, he's now first overall with a 156.1 in fast conditions. Gold star to all those names I've mentioned. Collect your stars after the race. So, I feel it's fair to give someone else a bit more screen time. Let's check out Mr. Mello. Oh, this is a new paint job. Let's have a look at this a little closer. Oh, it looks like Doctor Who. Doctor Who brings your cosmic racing needs to today's screen. And there he is, the OG Doctor Who. I think it started up in the 70s. I wasn't prepared for factoids on Doctor Who, but I do know there's been an absolute metric ton of Doctor Who's in the Doctor Who universe. And I believe that is the very first one. So there goes John, approaching Agostini. Oh, I'm a fan of that. That's a lovely livery. Let's jump on board with him now. I think Assetto Corsa Competizione developers are missing a trick. There should be some trinkets hanging off the wing mirror or something. Or, you know, plushes sitting on the dashboard. That are, of course, glued in this virtual world. Because I'm sure the scrutineers would not be a fan of plushes and rear view mirror trinkets hanging all over the driver's vision. But if John was going to have one, it would certainly be a stallion, because that's your national animal next to the American eagle, right? Especially in Texas. Or would it be, in this case, would it be the TARDIS? The TARDIS, the police TARDIS from Doctor Who? Of course it would. It's a bit of a big item though, so I wouldn't put it on the dash. Jumping back out so we can have a look at that absolutely gorgeous livery. Taking riches like an absolute tiger. So, as I'm getting some feedback from the streams, we're currently streaming on YouTube and Twitch. Let's take a look at Mr. Fox. He is driving for Fox, the one-man band. The one-man band that is Fox. Driving an Aston Martin today. I am getting vibes of lemon and grapefruit, or lime and grapefruit. I'm not going to say any specific brands of drink names, but one that rhymes with tilt. There he goes, he's given us a flash. I hope that was a nod to the legal team. Oh, there he goes. Was he just showing off for the cameras? We're never going to know. Give us a sign, give us a sign. Ah, there he is. Yeah, he's giving us a flash. He's showing off. There we go. Alright, let's have a look at an onboard lap with Mr. Fox. Track temperature and ambient temperature is slowly creeping up by 2 degrees. Oh, pushing the limits of that car right there. Eating a bit of grass. Coming out of Montreal. So we are over 3/4 of an hour into the practice session. And right now we have 18 drivers in the lobby. Is lobby the right word, or should I say racetrack? Let's call it racetrack. Anyway, through Agostini. Absolutely belting it. Oh, going sideways. Everyone's got the crab hacks going on today. And there he goes. Coming out of Hamilton and into Oggles. I keep saying Oggles, it's Oggies, isn't it? Out of Oggies. And onto Williams' corner. Interesting footwork. Nice and snug to the apex. Was it too snug? Yeah, let's pretend it was fine. It's fine. Tyres are fine. So after demolishing Bentley Straight, again into Brundle Nelson complex. First being Brundle, then Nelson. Oh. Lucky he's finding some grip here today. The track conditions are now optimum. Finishing off Coram corner and onto Murray's. Currently sporting a 155. What's his lap time going to be over the line? It's not going to be a first placer. It's a 10th placer with a 159. That's his current best. Good work, sir. Gold star. Collect your gold star after the race. They are worthless, I'm sure. So, before I embarrass him anymore, what car are you? This is a KTM. Oh! Oh! Oh dear. That didn't look good. But anyway, Mr. Matthews, driving for Rat's Nest Racing, has gone back to the pits because I believe that was a contact with the barrier. So, again, let's have another look at this livery, shall we? So, hopping out of the car. It's a very striking car. I haven't really looked at the KTM in too much detail, but as you can see, it looks like he has a autumn rat nest livery going on here. Sponsored by KTM Momo. Some real early 90s styling on this car today. Wow, what a livery. Love that. Better watch out. If no one can see you, you better keep your distance from people. Yeah. And there's his name just at the bottom there, Mr. Matthews. And while we're here, we have the quick Mr. Fox just leaving the pits. And there goes Hanak, doing his final last minute tweaks. Let's see what happens at the front of the pack then, shall we? Oh, and Mr. Fox dives out of the way for Lucas. As Mr. Hanak begins his outlap, getting those tyres nice and warm. With less than 10 minutes to go until qualifying starts. So, if you just joined me and witnessed a whole bunch of waffling, do not be mistaken. This is not a geriatric making noises. This is HSR and IFWL hosting round 5 of the GT4 Championship, Season 1. Your commentator, myself, the one and only, Mr. Adam Ty, at the microphone in the very hot and sweaty commentary box. We're here at a very nice and sunny Snetterton for round 5 with all round fantastic weather conditions, which is a rare sight really in the British Isles these days. If you ever visit the British Isles, don't during the summer, it's not worth it. It's horrible weather, it's unpredictable. Also, us Brits can't drive, so, you know. But anyway, Lucas is approaching Mr. Brown very quickly there. And then backs off. He's giving a little bit of space for the cars in front. Brown is also in a Porsche for the bronze category. Hanak is in the gold category. And there goes Hanak. And there goes Yanis in the background. So let's jump on board. Let's get a little ogle at Mr. Hanak's lines. Let's see what magic is happening here. Really pushing the ABS there. Coming out of Montreal. Can't quite make the traction control or ABS currently. But I'm sure he is enjoying some very low numbers on that. As he comes into Agostini. Fantastic job there. A little bit of understeer as he comes out of the corner exit. Coming into Oggies. Leaving Mr. Brown behind in the grass, having a nice picnic. Throwing himself onto Williams' corner. Oh, and those tyres are still there. There you go, Jim. You left the tyres alone. Good job. Gold star for you. That's 2. 2 gold stars for Jim. So collect your gold stars at the end, don't forget. We're heading down Bentley Straight here. Gathering some very, very critical speed. Into Brundle, then Nelson corner. Very smooth indeed. Excellent work. I feel a gold star's coming very soon. Coming out of Bombhole, heading into Coram. Certainly looks to be a very close lap time. Are we going to see Mr. Hanak beat his own best of 1:56.1? Tenths of a second will tell us. He has not. By 300ths of a second. He is not far off. He has consistency on his side. That is his secret weapon. Consistency, accuracy, and presence because of that livery, that striking red and yellow livery, which I'm just going to call you Lightning McQueen. I don't care if your team is Rusty's, you're Lightning McQueen to me. So let's jump on board with Ostracharts, who is driving a Mercedes. An Aston Martin Imposter. That V8. There he is coming into Oggies if you need to orientate yourself on the circuit. Very smooth indeed. Keeping it nice and tight, just like Mr. Fox did. In the best V8 on the circuit. I'm sure this V8 is lovely. So there you go. Through Brundle, into Nelson. Taking an exterior view so we can check out that very minimal livery. Electric green on black. Very gloss black indeed. Just rely on the skyline and the greenery to really show off the minimalist livery. So, jumping back on board. Currently 1:48 on the clock. What is Mr. Ostrachar's gonna get as he goes over the line? That is his best at 1:56.8. Excellent work. Gold star for you. I am dishing them out like hotcakes tonight. Be sure to count up your stars at the end, if any of the drivers are going to watch this back. So as we approach the end of practice, let's take a look at our standings again. So, looking at the gold category, we have Lucas Hanak in first place, driving the Porsche number 77. Also with 77 points. 33 points clear of Fabio Suarez after a very upsetting round 4 at Spa for Mr. Suarez, with his first place stolen from him by Hanak. He came out of nowhere. He started at the back of the grid after a terrible start and then clawed his way back up the field in the wet weather conditions in Belgium. Fantastic show of force, but so unfortunate for our driver Fabio Suarez. So that leaves him with 44 points, currently second, with Mishk with 2 points behind in third place, followed by Liam Turner, Adam Ostracharts, Bjorn Weiser, Matthew Reynolds, Mark Gradenbury, Mr. Hewlett, who unfortunately cannot make it today due to some very exciting news, which I shan't share on the public server, because when it's fantastic news, you don't necessarily want to share that unless you have permission, which I do not. So all I can say is, it's exciting. If you want to find out more, tune in to HSR and IFWL.net, and I'm sure you'll hear all about it in the coming weeks. And then in 10th place, in our top 10 standings, we have Michael Deeringer, also from the USA, driving a Maserati. You brave man. You know, that thing's got no traction control, no ABS. I mean, hat off to you if you can control that thing. So, looking at silver standings, we have Adam Douglas driving the Aston Martin, and he also has 77 points. Followed by Mr. Yanis Mayer. And again, the graphics will be fixed next race. And he has 49 points. Followed by Josh Redhead. Those two have been battling it out all season, and they are just 4 points separating them. Two very different layout cars, so I'm excited to see what the outcome is there. Then you have Josh Price in 4th with 37 points, followed by the quick Mr. Jim Fox, also in the Aston Martin with 28 points. And then Yanis Livanios, also driving an Aston with 18 points. Followed by Mark Jackson, also 18 points. That's going to be an interesting outcome at the end of this race. Followed by McElwain, then Bubbins, then Alford. Taking a look at bronze standings, we've got Aldsley with 51 points. Mr. Worth with 39. And then just 1 point trailing with Freddie Davies with 38 points. Then another point trailing, Mr. Lysett. And then we have Mr. Matthews with 31 points. And then trailing a point behind is Daniel Rakhjani, driving the Aston as well. Then we have Mr. Mello, who's actually driving a Porsche, so I do apologise on the graphics front. This will get fixed next week. 25 points. And then we have Wade Bowler, driving the only McLaren on the circuit, I believe. 24 points. And then closing off the top 10 drivers of bronze, we have Will Smith and Joseph Puller. Taking a look at the race schedule, we're currently at Snetterton. We have done 5 races. This is going to be super important, critical for our drivers today to make sure that we settle the most amount of points we can get in the closing races of this first opening season of the GT4 Championship. So we're hitting the o'clock mark now, which means we will be heading into qualifying territory, which means the bronze and silver drivers will be going out first for the first 10 minutes, after which all those drivers must come in and make way for the gold category drivers who will finish in the last 10 minutes of the race. So, without further ado, bear with me. I'm just going to sort some technical issues out. I shall see you shortly. And here we are. We are back. We are racing. We are qualifying. Jumping on board, well, jumping out of Mr. Bowler. It's probably not a phrase you want to hear every day. And Mr. Bowler is on his outlap, as is everyone else in the bronze and silver categories. All looks well on Snetterton circuit. Just keeping an eye out for the marshals, the virtual marshals, and all looks good. So it's Mr. Douglas that's out first with a fantastic amount of clearance. The Ascot Hornet has a clear road ahead of him, which gives him ample room to get his best qualifying time. Let's hope the conditions hold up for him today at qualifying in Snetterton, the round 5 of the GT4 Championship. He crosses over the line, dives into Rich's corner. Coming up to Montreal. Nice and snug to that line. Not taking up as much tarmac estate as I had imagined. But he takes it nice and right to Palmer. Leaving those bollards alone. Oh, there's a little bit of crab exploit going on the stream. There he goes. Nice wide line coming in to Agostini. and fares very well. Coming on to Hamilton, again keeping it nice and tight. Oh, has he hit track limits on that one? He has not. He is still in the game. Oh no, he's not. He's invalidated his lap time. He's going to have to come back around to check in on that lap time. Let's take a look at Ruben Worth, driving the Camaro today. Driving for BNTX Racing. Car number 444. He has plenty of room in front of him, with Mr. Mayer just out of shot, just coming out of shot there as well. And there he goes, entering Agostini corner. Let's hear this V8 roaring down that straight, heading towards Hamilton. And the times are starting to come in now. We have Audsley with pole position right now, followed by Davies and Bowler. All three are bronze category, with Douglas yet to set his lap time since invalidating it on his last lap. And here comes Worth entering the complex of corners. Oh, he's run it a little bit wide there. And there we have it. We can see all the lap times coming in. Divatini in 4th. Mr. Mello in 5th. And Douglas still yet to record. And there goes Josh Redhead with the 2nd position with a 1:58.2. Currently the fastest is 1:57.9. Let's see what Worth takes as he comes over the line now. Oh, nail biting. Let's see what happens. And he takes 6th. He has a 1:59.9. So that's 6 drivers with a sub 2 minute lap time. So taking a look at... Oh, I forgot my car numbers now. Let's take a look at Douglas. There we go. So his last was a 1:57.7, which is actually currently the fastest lap time. So if he can repeat this, then he is comfortably still in pole. Technically. Okay, let's not get into semantics here. Anyway, taking a look at what time he takes as he comes over the line here. There's Cheeky Fox in the foreground, and he takes first. He secures it with a 1:56.8. Whopping lap time. That is going to tickle a few gold drivers in the, I don't know, the bump stops. Let's call them bump stops. Fantastic work. We have an outlier of Audsley in the bronze category in a Ginetta, who has secured himself a 1:57.8. There's quite a difference, almost a second difference between Douglas and Audsley there. We're seeing more drivers. There's 8 drivers now with a sub 2 minute. Great work, Mr. Douglas. I'm going to jump over to Mr. Redhead, who's currently in 3rd. He still has 3rd. It's not quite his best lap. Just 2/10 off the mark. Let's jump on board with the good sir and watch this gentleman absolutely fly around the circuit. So he arrives at Montreal, keeping it nice and tight. Good grief. There we are, coming through Palmer corner there. Nice and careful. So he comes through Hamilton there. Taking a look at a nice exterior shot of the Open Lobby Racing livery that Redhead is sporting today. Tucking it nice and tight in Williams' corner. Fortunately, Josh has a clear road behind and in front of him today, which means no pressure. Tickling that grass verge as he goes through the complex of Brundle and Nelson. Oh, he's eating a bit of curb there. Keep going, sir, keep going. He's still got a qualifying lap to beat. He's currently 6/10 off the mark. Is he going to claw this back as he comes out of Coram and into Murray's? He is not. He is losing time. It's currently 7/10, looking like 8/10 off his best, but still retaining that third place. We will keep an avid eye on Mr. Redhead's time. So we have Davies in the pit right now, currently sitting at 5th. Taking a look at Mr. Brown, who is driving a green and purple livery. He's not hailing from any particular team, but, you know, I respect that. The Lone Ranger. Oh, and I think somehow he managed to keep hold of his lap time and not invalidating it after having a brief encounter with the green kind coming out of Riches. So jumping on board with the daring musketeer that is Mr. Brown. That is Dave Brown, for those who are intimately inclined to know. Keeping it nice and tight to the apex there, coming through Agostini. Okay, so this is the last lap for our bronze and silver drivers. Currently this is Mr. Brown's fastest lap time. Oh, and he's just lost it coming out of Williams' corner. Very critical moment there for him. So jumping over to... Sorry, let's jump over to Divatini, who's coming over the line, and he secures a 6th place, which leaves him 5th in the silver standings. Taking a look at Mr. Matthews, who's heading over the line, and he takes 10th. He takes 10th, which makes him 5th in the current standings. And taking a look at Mr. Brown again, who is arriving on the start-finish straight. Oh, a little bit too much grass, too much of the green kind. Let's stay on the circuit. What's he going to have? It's not quite what he was looking for. He's retained his 13th position for now. That leaves him 8th overall. Looks like Brancaccio didn't make it out of the pits today. Anywho, jumping back on board with the quick Mr. Fox in that tropical drink looking livery as he comes out of Coram and onto Murray's. Oh, it was a little bit too wide there. Is he? No, he's invalidated his lap time. Oh no! And to save the suffering, he dives into the pits and calls it time. Meanwhile, let's take a look at Divatini, who is driving the McLaren. Naughty boy should not be on the circuit right now. That is a bad start, if he can ever dish one out. So Divatini is still racing round. If you can hear me, Mr. Divatini, you must come in. So, let's jump on board with Mr. Reynolds, who is driving a Ginetta today. He is coming down out of Parma and onto Agostini. Looking at the right hand side wheel configuration of the British motor. Comes into Oggies. Oh, you're really pushing the traction on that car, aren't you? Go on, into the Williams. Tyres are still there. That's a good show so far. We are just over 6 minutes away from the end of qualifying. And Mr. Reynolds attacks that complex, really tricky complex of Brundle and Nelson. Comes into Bombhole and into Coram. And no, I'm not saying a rude word. That corner is bomb hole. So any doubts? No, it's not. Okay, I'm not going to even say it on stream. So what does Mr. Reynolds have as he comes over the line? He takes third. He takes third, and Mr. Raddenbury takes third off of Reynolds. And Hanak, oh well, you know where he ends up. He's pole position. He is sporting a 1:56.4, which is knocking 2/10 off Douglas's time. Excellent work. You've had too many stars today. Too many gold stars, Hanak. You've hit your quota. So, jumping back to Visor, it looks like he may have invalidated his first lap. So jumping back over. Oh, has he pushed it again? No, he's still valid. He's still got it. There he goes, smashing it through Hamilton and onto Oggies. He's managed to knock 3/10 off his time, his previous time. Currently 20th, but we shall see what Mr. Visor does in the next 4.5 minutes. So Hanak is still in pole position with Ostracharts, who managed to steal third place from Dayringer. Audsley still retained his 5th place, or his place as the outlier bronze category. So jumping over to the front, and Mr. Dayringer is out with his Maserati, the absolute bucking Bronco. Here he comes. He's coming over the line. He's looking good. Is he going to knock it into the top 3? Let's see. Let's see what happens. He takes 5th. 3rd and 5th position seem to be the one that's changing hands quite a lot recently. So, jumping on board with Ostracharts here. He's currently smashing 5/10 or 4/10. Oh, he's losing time as he comes up to Williams straight. Oggies wasn't too good, wasn't kind to him this time. Comes out of Williams corner and onto Bentley straight, where he's managed to keep his delta under control of 3/10. Still looking good, still looking good. He's managed to shave off a few tenths there. He is 4/10 off his current bests. I do apologise, not 4/10 off. He is 4/10 up. So he's currently doing very well. So I'll give you a gold star, Mr. Ostracharts. And Mr. Hanak has taken a 155.9. And looking at the socials, apparently, according to Can't Stop the Chop, Hanak said he was bad here in practice. Well, you know what? I think you did blimmin' marvellous. Especially now, you got 155, you got a sub 156, sir. I already told you hit your gold star quota, so you're not getting any more. Okay? You get some more next week. Get more love from me next week. Anyway, so back to Visor, who is doing very well indeed. Ostracharts, meanwhile, has taken 4th place in his Mercedes AMG. We have 1 minute left here of qualifying at the British circuit known as Snetterton. Current standings are Mr. Hanak with all the gold stars in 1st place with a sub 156 lap time. So focusing just on the gold category right now, we've got Visor in 2nd. Then we have Ostracharts in 3rd. Looking at the silver category, we have Douglas in 1st for his category, 2nd on the grid. And then all the way down in 10th position, but 2nd for his category, is Mr. Divatini, driving the McLaren. And then we have Josh Redhead driving the Mercedes in 3rd place, but 11th overall on the grid. And then taking a look at bronze, we have an outlying satellite rocket. That is Mr. Audsley in 9th place overall, but 1st in his category. And then we have Mr. Davies driving the Ginetta in 2nd, but 14th overall. And then we have Mr. Bowler, who's 3rd for bronze, but 15th overall. So that's the end of qualifying. We still have a few folks out on track right now. And that is Mr. Turner. So let's just watch Mr. Turner as he takes the final corners of qualifying here at Snetterton. Weather is still looking fantastic, I might add, with track temperatures of 27, track of 36. They couldn't be more ideal, to be honest. So taking inside the British rocket, that is the Ginetta, driving for IFWL, is Mr. Turner. Car number 66. Comes out of Oggies, floors it, heads it towards Williams. Very excited to see what he's like. Oh, and he's absolutely sent that tyre. Jeez. Imagine explaining that to the insurance company. Don't tell them I stream this. As he approaches the complex of Brundle and Nelson, flies through, avoids the tyres. No tyres, but a sausage that he avoids like the plague. Comes into bomb hole. Flies out. Gets on the gas. Arriving at Coram. What's his lap time going to be? What is it going to be? Comes out of Murray's now. Oh, has he got it? He's still got it. He has shaved time off his current best, but what's it going to be as he comes over the line? Is he going to take 7th? Oh, no, he doesn't. Only misses it by 0.003 of a second. 0.003. Wow. Wow. What a finish to the qualifying session. So, I'm going to be right back while I set up the race broadcast, so bear with me, and I'll be back very soon. So whilst we're waiting for the technical systems to kick in the background, you are tuned into ifwl.net and HSR Motorsport round 5 of the GT4 Championship at Snetterton today. The weather conditions look to be glorious for practice and qualifying, with none other than Lucas Hannock leading the pack at present. Very nearly there. We shall get to see our drivers on the circuit very shortly. We have less than a minute to go until we see our drivers set off on their formation lap. And there we have it. Blue skies, and more blue skies here at Snetterton. The dream. It is a British person's wet dream right now with these temperatures. 35 degrees on circuit. You know, once upon a time, a section of the M25 melted. The tarmac melted when it was at that temperature. So bear that in mind when you drive down the world famous ring road of the British Isles. Don't you get stuck on the hard shoulder. So anyway, enough waffle. We are about to get started, and there we go. We are starting off on our out lap here at Snetterton. Tyres are no doubt going to be nice and warm at the end of this run, with the circuit nicely rubbered with lovely optimum conditions and no crosswind. That's the dream. And there's the Ascot Hornet, Mr. Douglas, with I don't need to explain, with the livery. The armoured unit of an insect. As we make our way out onto the circuit and get our tyres nice and warm. Ice creams are optional. So there's been a bit of chatter on the socials, and we've had a request. I've mentioned earlier that our very own Mr. Hewlett has some exciting news. He's going for a test run to see what Williams esports team think of him very soon. Yeah, he's going to be driving a Mercedes. It's not the car of his choice, but yeah, he's driving a Mercedes. He's usually driving a McLaren, but yeah, that's a fantastic turnout for the books. He did very well in the tryouts, and it looks like he's been invited over to a secret location. If anyone actually knows what this secret location is, please don't share. You know, we want to keep our driver's identity secret. We're all aliases at the end of the day. We don't want to be seen in public. God, imagine the autographs. It'd be like Gran Turismo movie all over again. But I've had the pleasure of meeting Craig. He's a lovely gentleman. I've also had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Fox. Yeah, lovely gent as well. Yeah. And yeah, there you go. Real life. Isn't it a fun place to be when we're not watching streams of GT4 cars going around Snetterton? Anyway, let's get focused back on the race. There we go. We're having a look at the Rusty's Lightning McQueen wing there, looking backwards at the train of GT4 cars here at Snetterton. Keeping the tyres nice and warm. We are turning into Murray's Corner. There we go. So, jump in on board. Let's choose our camera. We have our camera chosen. Or have we? Nah, let's go TV2, shall we? Right, so we're getting ready. We're getting ready. This is a fantastic angle. Here we are, round 5 at Snetterton for the GT4 Championship. Get ready to go, get ready to go. And there we go, it's a green light here at Snetterton. Here we go, round 5, approaching Rich's Corner. There is bedlam to be had. Let's take a look at that rear view. Oh, and the Hornet's been pushed off the field. We have some position changes as we come up into Montreal. Taking a look at the back of the pack. Have we had any contact? Yes, we have. We had contact. And we had some more contact between car 416, so that's Douglas, and we had 4-car contact. No, no, no! What is happening back here? That was car number 92. It looks to be that we've had quite a few position changes. Let's just take a look at that replay, shall we? It doesn't look like there's actually much action going on there. No, no, it looks fine. I think it was just a little bit of door banging, to be honest. We have had loads more door contact in the meantime, and more door contact with 74 and 750. So that's Ostracharts and Raddenbury, and they're fighting for 4th position there. The pack seems to be settling down a bit, but my gosh, their times are so close. We have 5 seconds difference between 1st and 9th place. That is some super close racing. Let's jump on board here. We've had a few position changes here from Davies, who looks to have taken advantage of a beneficial changing here. Let's just jump back to the replay, shall we? Oh, there we go. So it looks like Worth and Davies were battling it out, and they still are as they come through. I do apologise, that was on the replay. So as we're back in the race, let's take a look. We had a few position changes at the back with Brown and Smith fighting for 15th, and then we have Bowler and Mello who's fighting for 17th. We're neck and neck here between Smith and Brown. Oh, there's a bit of contact there on Smith's bonnet, and Brown's looking pristine. Oh, and Smith goes wide there, and that means that Mr. Brown has taken advantage of that slight mistake on Smith. So Smith falls back to 16th there. We have some close action towards the front. We have Ostracharts, who is 0.1 of a second now, sniffing the Hornet's backside, coming into Williams' corner. Jumping on board with that action now. Heading down Bentley Straight there, coming into Brundle Nelson Complex. With the crab modifiers on the slicks. There we go. Taking a look back out on that camera, you can see them flying around the Coram corner approaching Murray's. We have a position change between Audsley and Turner. It looks like Turner had a little mishap approaching Coram, maybe hitting bomb hole a little too hard as he came through those corners. Position change with Douglas now, and Reynolds is just leaving the pits. Reynolds is at the back, so it looks like he had a bit too much contact for his comfort there. Douglas and Ostracharts are still battling it out there. Visor still has he's currently in second place with just over half a second behind Hanak right now. Jumping on board, get a look at that front runner action. Taking it easy, coming out of there, eating a bit of the green stuff. Taking a look at the back of the pack, we have a fierce battle going on with Davies and Fox. Sniffing the bumper of that Ginetta. That's the fight for 12th position there. Very snug to the corner. Is he going to take advantage on Davies as he comes out of Agostini corner? Davies has eaten a bit too much of the green stuff, and it looks like Fox has won the corner at Hamilton and gains a lot of distance. Davies is late on the brakes, closing in on Fox. Oh, and a little bit of crab action going on with the stream connection. As they approach Williams corner, he's closing the gap on Davies in the... Sorry, I do apologise, it's Divatini. And there you have Yanis and Reynolds in the foreground fighting for... I don't even know what position now. I lost my train of thought. There we go. So Reynolds and Mr. Mayer. Oh, Reynolds is at the back of the pack, so he's just fighting, or not even fighting, he's just taking advantage of the slipstream. There we go. So Mr. Fox and Davies hammering it through Coram straight. Coram corner. Hardly straight, is it? Coming up to Murray corner. Taking a look at the rear view there. That tropical drink flavoured looking livery. He gains a very comfortable distance there on Davies. Meanwhile, the fight for 5th position is raging on between Deeringer in the Maserati and Roddenberry. How close is the Maserati bomber? Not too close. But in the front, we have Ostracharts and Douglas. And Hanak has had a place taken off of his hands. Visor is absolutely smashing it through there with his best lap time of 1:56.7. Both on the 1:56.7 between first and second place, but inching it forward just by a 100th of a second. And there's Visor taking a defensive line, approaching the complex after Bentley Straight. Where's Hanak? Where's he gone? Oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong car, aren't I? There we go. There's Hanak. We were looking at the back of Hanak, weren't we? We were meant to look at the back of Visor. Anyway, here we are. Can't get the TV production crew these days, can you? So we come out of Coram corner and into Murray's, and the action is solid at the front there, leaving second and third. There's been a shake-up in position there between Ostracharts and Douglas. It looks to be very recent, so let's just take a look at that, shall we? I'll get the timings right these days. Anyway, Visor and Hanak are still battling at the front, and there's been a lot of changes in position there. Ostracharts and Douglas have exchanged positions again. They just seem to be exchanging. And then towards the back we have Divatini and Davies, and then Yanis and Jim also exchanging places. And then Yanis takes it back off of Mr. Fox. Mr. Fox goes slightly wide. Good grief. Right, let's take a look at that. I am definitely going to capture this one this time. So, Mr. Fox takes it up the corner of Montreal, goes a little bit wide, and Yanis goes, see you later, mate. Can't park there. And goes on. And it looks like Davies and Divatini. Not quite Davies, but Divatini definitely sneaks in there. Jumping towards the front of the pack. Hanak is 4/10 behind Visor, who is absolutely smashing this race so far. They're looking at the fight for 4th place. We have Douglas and Deeringer. Douglas in the Ascot Hornet, keeping Deeringer at bay. God, that's super close. There he goes. Deeringer takes him up the inside. Takes Douglas. What's Douglas going to do here? Is he going to keep on the wing of Deeringer? Is he going to take advantage of him coming out of Coram and into Murray without that traction control? What's he going to do? Gently does it on the brakes as the Maserati brake lights are flashing. Smashing it down that straight. We have no position changes in the last few seconds, but we do have a very tight battle at the back between Brown and Smith. And also there's a sneaky Mr. Matthews there in the KTM. He's keeping an eye on the position. Oh, is it? Ah, no, not quite. As he comes out of Murray. Manages to keep control. Matthews is taking full advantage of that slipstream there. He is not leaving any room for error there on Mr. Smith. As he chases him through Richard's corner, he keeps his distance. Meanwhile, Mr. Fox is sniffing Divatini at the rear end of the McLaren. Divatini feels the pressure. He takes it slightly wide. Just take the chase cam there. Oh, and Mr. Fox is taking it up the inside. What's he going to... Oh, no! And Divatini has been spun out by Mr. Fox, and Davies takes it as well. Oh, that is not an outcome that Divatini was looking for. There he goes. He comes back onto the circuit. Marshals give a white flag. Everything's all clear now. He retains his 11th position for now. Mr. Fox is smashing it down the Bentley straight now, keeping his distance from Davies. He sees Mayer in his sights, but is he going to make the distance on him? We are 12 minutes into today's race here at Snetterton, and there's already been enough chatter. Oh, and we had a few position changes at the back between. Oh, and there goes Mr. Smith on the grass. Oh, it's not the Ascot races, sir. You need to... Oh, it looks like he's suffering quite a lot, actually. Shall we take a look at the replay? Let's take a look at that replay, shall we? So, jumping over to what happened back here. Oh, and there was a bit of contact with Divatini. Another... Oh, no, that's not what you need. That is not what you need. That is not Smith's day today. He is at the back now, along with Mr. Mello and Brancaccio. Jumping to the front, we have position changes between Mr. Turner and Audsley. In this action-packed race here at Snetterton today, I can't hardly keep up. So Audsley is approaching Agostini corner. Nice smooth line coming out of there, heading towards Hamilton. Keeping his comfortable distance away from Audsley there. Sorry, Redhead. Oh, Deeringer's had a few... Oh no, and there's been a crash there. There's been a crash. Deeringer and the ABS monster has seen the barrier. Let's take it over to the replay. So, what happens here? Deeringer comes in through Hamilton. And he clips a bit too much grass and he takes it wide into the barriers. Oh, it's only a little skim. Oh, that will brush out in the wash. You'll be fine, mate. You'll be fine. Don't tell Mum. Okay. Jumping over to Brown. He's sniffing at the backside of... Who is that? Bowler. Bowler in car number 23. He's only 0.8 of a second behind. There's been a position change between Divatini and Matthews. Divatini is slowly climbing back up the field after that horrendous set of accidents. Sorry, let's jump over to the right car here. Again, getting the right camera crew is a nightmare these days. God, it's almost like they're the graphics team as well. Who'd have thought? So, Divatini is settling back into a tumultuous ride. Hanak and Visor are having a nice battle at the front. We are only a quarter away through the race, and I can feel my throat going. You know, this is not good. I need a bit more throat lubricant in the form of apple juice. So I shall keep sipping on that. I will have a break once everyone decides to calm down. And it looks like everyone's calmed down. We have a few people pitted. There's Mr. Smith in the pits now, getting his car repaired, sorted out. Off he goes. He's had his repair done. And then back at 4th and 5th place, we've had a position change between Douglas and Raddenbury. He is very close to Douglas in 4th position. There he goes as he leaves Williams straight. Hot on the case of the Ascot Hornet. Flying down Bentley Straight. And there's Ostracharts getting a cheeky hello in the foreground. Very good, very good. There we go, as Raddenbury enters the complex of Brundle and Nelson. He comes out squeaky clean, not eating too much dirt. Into Bomb Hole. And into Coram. That long sweeping right-hander where you had to be so delicate on the gas. If you put a foot wrong, you are out to the left. Goodbye, sir. Right, we're on to through Murray and onto the start-finish straight. Everything seems to be settling down here in this part of the Snetterton world. Towards the back, Divatini is giving Matthews a hard time. Oh, and he's very late on the brakes. Oh, what's going to happen here? Oh no, he's got a bit too hard into the corner and taken Matthews off with him. Oh no. Divatini. Matthews retains his lead. Divatini still in 17th. Divatini is feeling the pressure to move back up the field. Currently in silver, which leaves him last in his category. This is really not his race today. Let's hope he takes his pit. He has a few seconds time out and comes back in with a fresh head, ready to tackle the second half of the race. And let's hope he hasn't sustained too much damage. That means he has to take an early pit, which can really, really affect his tyre performance later on in the race. Anyhow, jumping over to Mr. Turner, who's having an absolute blinder of a race. Currently in 6th position, sniffing the tailpipes of Raddenbury with... Who is that in front of them? Let's just take another telecam in front. That's Raddenbury and Douglas. So Douglas is in 4th. There they go, coming out through the complex there. Very clean racing from the fine drivers that are in 4th, 5th and 6th. And taking a look at Mr. Hanak coming out of Murray Corner and coming down the start-finish straight. We still have Visor in 1st place, which is a really, really nice thing to see in terms of variety in the pole position front of things. Hanak is biding his time. It will be very interesting to see who takes the first pit. If it's all about, is Visor going to play chicken with Hanak and make him do an early pit and gain the position on him? Meanwhile, Turner and Raddenbury are really battling it out, coming out through Oggie's corner. It does seem that Turner's favourite corner is Oggie's there as he comes through Williams' corner. I do apologise, that wasn't Williams' corner. I think. Yeah, that was Montreal. Silly sausage, right. One bad star for me. So, coming out of Palmer. You can see how competitive this racing is here between Raddenbury and Turner. There's really not much in it at all. Jumping on board Raddenbury's tail. Nice little nod to Dunn Motorsport there. Oh, and Turner really gathers the distance on Raddenbury in that corner. Let's see if Turner takes advantage of Williams. We'll keep a close eye on that in the future. Meanwhile, Hanak is in 2nd. But my God, he's coming through bomb hole and he's super close to Visor. He's really piling the pressure on. No room for error. This is a great race from Visor. Really great race. Oh, and they're side by side, and Hanak makes a daring move on Visor there on the start-finish straight. Takes full advantage of Visor's mistake coming out of that corner. And Hanak secures it with Visor close on the tail of Hanak. And Hanak's defending his line with honour. Incredible racecraft from the both of them here. As they come up to Palmer. Oh, and he's really sniffing up the inside there. He does not want his place to be second today. No, sir. And there we go. It looks like we're settled for now. Only 0.2 of a second behind. He's really, really wanting that pole position back. And Hanak is really driving cleanly. It's so difficult to find that place to overtake. Oh, and he's pushing it a bit too hard and he's coming out of Williams. He managed to recover it, but he's lost a couple of tenths. Super crucial as you're coming down Bentley straight here. We're likely to see Hanak clawing back a tenth or so. The rest of the pack seems to have settled down. Raddenberry's managed to find a couple of tenths clearance. Oh, and Hanak's eating a bit of sausage there. Oh, and his Visor going to take him on the inside. He manages to find a gap and he slips in. Oh, it's shoulder to shoulder as they go through bomb hole. And Hanak is on the grass nearly. As Visor is taking Coram super tight. Is he going to defend that line? Is he going to hold it? Coming through Murray. He has closed the door on Hanak and taken the start-finish straight with all the might he has. We're not even halfway through this race. And Visor has managed to find half a second on Hanak. There wasn't too much contact to be noted between those two cars. There was contact. Oh, and Hanak's muscled Visor off the circuit. And like the gentleman that he is, he's actually given him his place back. Ignore the car positions. We are now rendered back on the correct position on the race. And Visor is still retaining that lead. What a race this is. Anyway, let's give Turner and Raddenberry a little bit of screen time, shall we? So Turner's clawed a little bit back. Half a second back to be precise from Raddenberry. There's been a position change. Mr. Fox has gone in for an early pit. We see Divatini in for the pits now. I was wondering how long it would take before he would throw the pit entry flag. And over on the socials we have Aaron FTW, and he wants a, oh yeah, I shan't do the accent live on air. I dare not. I might get into copyright trouble. You know how it goes. People get famous, and then they start filing lawsuits because someone's stolen their phrase live on the world famous stage that is here at the GT4 Championship. Also, some of our younger viewers might not understand, and we don't want to give them the wrong idea. Me included. So, Visor and Hanak are still battling for that second place. in this glorious weather here at Snetterton for round 5 at the GT4 Championships, hosted by HSR and IFWL.net. So we are tackling Agostini, and there's some super close racing between those two, as always. Then we have Turner, who's battling Roddenberry. He is not leaving his tailpipes alone. Let's hope this doesn't turn into one of those nasty restraining orders. Who wants a restraining order on tailpipes? Anyway, looking at Mr. Redhead and Audsley, it appears they're both teammates from Open Lobby Racing. Yes, indeed, they are sporting the same colours. So they're just keeping their distance from one another. And don't forget, if you're just joining as a spectator and you would like to race, you have plenty of opportunity. We are due to start the second season in a couple of weeks' time. So keep your eyes peeled for the socials on Discord. So if you join us over at HSR or IFWL.net, either or, take your pick. You can join both if you like. We're both friendly. Keeping an eye on the announcements, you will see GT4 Championship Season 2 announced, where you can sign up and apply for positioning in the second season. There will be an assessment race, so get your racing mitts ready. And keep your eyes peeled on the socials. Alternatively, if you're in it just for the ride and you'd like to support our cause, we both have donation channels, so feel free, absolutely no pressure, but all donations are kindly welcomed in this series. We do this for the love of the sport, and we really could do with all the help we can get to make this a future sport for all walks of life to view and participate in. All funds will go towards the prize pot, and any physical rewards as well. Stay tuned for what other items may come our way in the communities. So let's jump back to what's happening in the race. We have Mr. Redhead, who is tailing Audsley, going through the complex there, accompanying a fellow teammate. It looks like Mr. Roddenberry is out in front there, and Audsley is having a little sniff at Roddenberry. Oh, and there they go, they take an early pit. When I say early, it's only 2 minutes early from the halfway mark. Let's jump on board with Mr. Yannis Mayer, who is sitting in a very comfortable position coming down the start-finish straight. No one in front, no one behind. Well, there is someone behind, but it's not Mr. Roddenberry. Looks like it's Davies. There you go, he's in the Ginetta. And then it's Worth directly behind that. As Roddenberry and Redhead are taking their pits, the field is slowly turning green on that mandatory pit stop. Mr. Hannock and Mr. Visor are having a spectacular battle at the front. There we go, as they're coming out of the complex. Oh, and Visor appears to take a really, really dodgy turn coming out of Nelson. He manages to hold it through bomb hole, and coming through Corrin. He defends his line with honour. Oh, and Hanak, he's got a bit of speed advantage coming up into Murray there. That's how he took him last time. Oh, and there goes Hanak. He takes his pit. Visor played chicken, and it looks like Visor overcame that challenge. So for now, he does not have any pressure from the Lightning McQueen that is Hanak. Ostracharts and Douglas steam past the pits, while Hanak, Turner and Audsley take their pits at the halfway mark here at this race, round 5, Snetterton. So the pack settles down. We have a position change at the back. Deeringer is sniffing. There's a three-way battle going on. Let's have a look at this on board, shall we? Coming through that complex of corners. Let's have a look at the back of the pack. Oh, he's got a bit more speed coming out of there, Deeringer does. Coming through bomb hole. He's calculating his passing point. It's not going to be here on Corrin corner. But he is really pushing Mr. Brown there in the Porsche. Oh, and he manages to take that position off him. Thank you very much. Oh, no, he doesn't. He goes straight on. He goes straight... What happened? Let's just go back a second, shall we? It looks like Deering has gone back. He's left. It looks like. Let's just take a look at that, shall we? Okay, so it looks like I can't get a view on Deeringer. I think he's just given up. Oh dear. Oh, that's a shame. That's a real shame. Anyway, Mr. Smith, on he goes in 19th position. Mr. Raddenbury has taken a pit. And so has Visor and Ostracharts now. So, let's have a look at the pack. Let's see where we are. So Hanak has taken his pit, but the people in front of him, Worth all the way through to Douglas, they're still yet to take a pit. Well, I do apologise, Visor and Ostracharts are currently in the pits. So, where does that leave Ostracharts? Has he got enough time on his hands to get in front? The answer may be not enough, as Hanak finishes his turn on Corrin entering Murray's. I don't think Visor's going to have enough time coming out of the pits. Here we come. So he's leaving the pits now. And Hanak is coming down the start-finish. It doesn't look like this is going to be Hanak's time. No, Hanak has taken the lead. He's taken it off of Visor's hands. And Visor has to fight his way back up the field. Meanwhile, Douglas is in first place. He's still yet to pit though, so he's going to inevitably fall back a few places. So right now he's just come out of Williams. That's certainly not enough time to hold it off. But towards the back, I do apologise. Towards the middle, we have Mr. Mayor, the Golden Gazelle, entering Rich's corner. Oh, he's really pushing the limits of his Porsche. Coming into Montreal there. There we go. So he has a nice comfortable race for now. Divatini and Smith have gained a few positions on Brancaccio towards the back. Visor's having a sniff at Hanak's position, who's a second ahead now. Douglas is still yet to pit. So, just a refresh on the positions right now. We have Douglas in pole position with Hanak and Visor in third overall. So, in terms of positions as it stands, Douglas is yet to pit. It may be this lap. But he is currently, for silver category, first, followed by Redhead. Oh, something's happened with the standings here. It would seem having a bit of an error going on the on race control. Ah, there we go. A little bit of Higgs boson going on there. So we have our positions back. So Turner entered the pits. He's now currently 6th. So refreshing how we were doing things. On gold category, Hanak, Visor and Ostracharts are in first, second and third respectively. Then in silver we have Douglas out in front with 39 seconds lead. And then we have Mr. Mayer in second, who has actually taken his pit stop, I believe. Yes, he has. And then we have Mr. Fox in car number 80 in the Aston Martin in third. Then looking at our positions for bronze category. Oh, we have someone in the grass there, Mr. Raddenbury. That's not where you need to be. So in bronze category we have Mr. Audsley in first, followed by Matthews and Davies. Matthews is currently in the pits, which leaves Davies in second, and they've traded places, and there goes Worth. So that now is, as we stand, oh, and Douglas just ate a bit of barrier as I was talking. And that's Douglas's tyres. So Mr. Douglas, you certainly need to come into the pits now. This is good timing. So as he comes into the pits now, with 23 seconds difference between him and Hanak, I don't think he's going to be able to retain that lead. So unfortunately, we don't have much going on the field, as Douglas is going to slip back towards the back of the field. That's certainly going to be a lot of damage. I would imagine that's about a minute's worth of damage there. So jumping over to the back of the pack, let's take a look at Mr. Mello in the Doctor Who car. As it appears he's coming through Williams' corner. No, it's Montreal. They look very similar. I suppose they're both right-hand turns. Oh, we have a drive-through on Mr. Matthews, which may have been a result of leaving the pit lane a bit too quick, or even entering the pits a bit too quick, or pushing track limits a little bit too much. So Mr. Matthews needs to take that in lap. Brancaccio appeared... No, I do apologise. There was someone else that was disqualified, and it looks like they've actually left the server. It's not very sportsmanlike. I suppose they can watch it from the comfort of their home on our stream here. It's live from the commentary box, the sweaty commentary box. Okay, I have gotten a few hints from 2 hours ago. Do apologise, Mr. Hewlett. I have adjusted the volumes. Better late than never. There we go. So, we have better volume here in the studio. So looking towards the front of the pack with second place battle between Visor and Ostracharts. There's only 0.2 of a second between the two. Flying out of Rich's corner there. Where's Hanak? Where's he gone? He's way off. He's like 7 seconds ahead. How do you manage that? What have I missed? Anyway, jumping back on board. Coming through Palmer. I haven't even had a break today. Oh! Oh! As I was having a sip of apple juice, it looks like Is it true? Yes, Ostracharts has taken the position on Visor. God, what happened there? Okay, so never enough time to have a rest. Crikey. Right, let's take a look at the cameras here. So Ostracharts is in front of Visor. That's who we're looking at here. So yeah, it looks like Visor took a little bit of a wide sweep. Ah, I've done it again. Okay, never mind me. Getting back to the race. Let's take a look at that wing shot, shall we? We're still in the replay. There we go. Very unusual view of the circuit. There we go. Ostracharts is taking Matthews, the back marker, and Visor is trailing just under a second behind. Coming out of Montreal there. There's Mr. it's not Mr. Miller's car in front, is it? It's Brancacio's. Similar colour work going on there. So, the pack seems to have settled. The only noteworthy action I can report on is the difference between second and third place, with about seconds difference. Let's take a look at Mr. Bowler here, driving for IFWL, coming through Coram Corner. Tell you what, I am a sweaty mess here in the commentary box. I'm going to take a seat. Okay, so here we go. Coming down the start-finish straight. Blue flags, blue flags. Looks like Raddenbury is being let past. Montreal hunting down Mr. Worth in the Camaro. So, if you're just joining us, haven't had a chance to breathe or address the newcomers into the stream, but yeah, you're here watching HSR and IFWL hosting the GT4 Championship, the first of its kind, here at Snetterton, sunny Snetterton. Would you believe it? In Britain, of all places, having sunshine and not a sign of precipitation in sight. Track temperature is 36 degrees and ambient 27 degrees. We've already had our pit stops, everyone's all green on the markers. We've had a few people sign off because, well, they just had a bad race. And yeah, here we are. No particular noteworthy action going on, apart from Mr. Fox overtaking Mr. Audsley. What happened there? Did you go wide, sir? Let's just go back to the camera, shall we? Just bear with me a second. So, go back a few seconds, shall we? Oh, there's Mr. Audsley in a barrier. You can't park there. I'm sure you knew that. But, there you go, there's the reason. Allowing Mr. Fox to overtake, and he rejoins safely. Very good racecraft there from you, sir. You get a gold star for that. So, jumping on board with Ostracharts, he is still hunting down Visor for that second place position. Coming onto Bentley Straight, getting a bit wobbly on Williams Corner. Still quite a bit of distance between them, but you may or may not have seen that some drivers get quite the advantage coming down through this complex corner. Understeer galore. And there goes Visor, managing to retain that position and then some, getting some distance on Ostracharts. Might be trying a little bit too hard, and Ostracharts actually went off track limits in the process. And there he goes, taking it nice and gentle through Coram's corner to Murray. So, jumping towards the back, we have a battle between Mello and Matthews. And this is the start-finish straight now. Mr. Matthews driving the KTM. There's really not much between them with 0.2 of a second behind Mello. What's he going to do? Is he going to test him coming through this corner? And historically, Mr. Mello is actually quite the blockade when it comes to corners. And he's certainly not too happy when someone overtakes either. He's a very defensive driver. And he certainly doesn't want to give up his position without a fight. Oh! What's this? There's 11 seconds difference between Visor and Hannock at the front. Huh, that's quite the difference. So yeah, Mr. Matthews is still hunting down Mello. Fighting for that 5th position in category, but 12th overall. There's a lot of close action going on. Brancaccio's getting the blue flag from Mr. Turner in the background. That windscreen is to die for, isn't it? It's such panoramic view. Oh, eat your heart out syndrome. Oh, Mr. Mello has taken it wide. Oh, and he's on the grass. No, you don't want to be there, Mr. Mello. Take it back onto tarmac, and he's lost a few seconds. He's lost tenths and tenths of a second. Meanwhile, in all that excitement, Mr. Raddenbury overtook Mr. Bowler. Well, that calls for a replay, doesn't it? Let's take a look at that, shall we? So, coming down into Rich's. Oh, and there goes Worth. And Bowler follows Worth out with him and narrowly misses the distance marker. So, that was unfortunate for Bowler, but lucky for Raddenbury as he now takes 10th position. So, Mr. Raddenbury's caught up with Mr. Worth in the Camaro. They smash it down the Benton straight now. Not much distance being gained. Jumping into exterior view on the cameras, coming through the Brundle and Nelson. Oh, look at that time gain coming into that cluster. Raddenbury certainly has the advantage on track knowledge. Worth is driving on controller while Raddenbury is driving. Oh, and you can really see Worth is pushing the limits of his Camaro. Oh, and he's defending his line well. And as I was saying, oh, and there's a bit of contact. A little bit of contact, a little nudge for Worth. Raddenbury probably felt sorry for him coming into Murray Corner. Gave him a little booster to have another go into the next lap. And he's having a sniff. Is he going to make it through Rich's corner? He does. He takes Worth down the straight. And Worth is going super wide. That is not ideal. And Bowler takes that position. And he misses the marker. Everyone's doing very well to miss the markers today. So that leaves Worth in 11th position, who is actually driving on a controller. I couldn't get my words out as this was all going on. So Raddenbury, well, notably driving with a wheel. It's quite the difference in competition when you have a controller versus having a wheel and pedal setup. So Audsley and Fox are having a battle down the straight. Who's going to be the victor coming out of this corner? And it looks like Audsley's having a sniff. Fox closes the gap on him through Nelson there. As they approach bomb hole, Fox doesn't quite clip his apex, but he retains his position nonetheless. Coming through Coram corner, Audsley is really pushing the limits of his Ginetta there. Approaching Murray corner, there's certainly some advantages being gained in this last section of circuit. Audsley not giving the game away on Fox. As they approach Rich's corner, Fox is defending his line very nicely. Maintains a nice gap between him and Audsley for now, but Audsley has the exit speed on Fox, or does he? No, he's approached Montreal, and Fox takes advantage of that situation and comes out of Montreal not really pushing the car to this limit right now. Smashing through Palmer corner. Seems they're maintaining a half-second difference between the two. Audsley is early on the brakes there as he comes in through Agostini. So the strategy here seems to be that Mr. Fox has better braking strategy on Audsley, which is unsurprising given the category difference between Fox and Audsley. However, we did see Audsley as the outlier in the bronze category qualifying, right up there in the top 10. So James from Open Lobby Racing is doing himself a huge service by showcasing his strength and prowess on the circuit as they come through the complex. Oh, has he gone wide? No, he still manages it to keep it. He just clips Brundle a little bit too hard, but keeps up with Mr. Fox coming through bomb hole. Oh, and there's only a tenth, now less than a tenth of a second between them as they approach Murray corner. When he's managed to really... Oh, he's piling the pressure on Mr. Fox there. He really is piling the pressure on Mr. Fox. With only 9 minutes left of this race, Audsley is really pushing the limit. Oh, and he loses a bit of time coming through Richards there. Spending a bit too much time trying to tempt Fox into making an error. So, giving the screen time back to the rest of the field. Mr. Raddenbury and Mr. Davies. Oh, and Raddenbury's gone wide. Again, leaving the board markers alone. And still retaining his position, but with a back marker of Divittini. The battle still rages on between Mr. Fox and Mr. Audsley, with 0.7 of a second between them. Coming through Williams there. Audsley kicking his back end out to get the rotation ready for the long straight. Let's see if the Ginetta has the speed advantage on the Aston Martin. It doesn't seem so. They're fairly equally matched, but we did see on the last lap Audsley had the cornering advantage and he catches up with Mr. Fox. He shaves 4/10 off of Nelson on Fox as he approaches bomb hole. He's now on the tailpipes with 0.2 of a second, now 0.1 of a second coming through corner. Coming up to Murray now, takes an early break to get the advantage on the exit speed. He's hot on the tailpipes, not quite as hot as last time with 0.1 of a second, but nonetheless enough to leave Fox concerned. We only have 7 minutes left of this race and he's 0.3 of a second behind. Just taking a look at the exterior cameras. Having a review of the standings, we have Hanak in first, Visor in second and Ostercharts in third, all sporting the gold category. Then you have Mr. Yannis Mayer in first. He's having a cracking race today, with Mr. Fox 4 seconds behind him in second. And where have all the silvers gone? There's only 3 silvers, which leaves Mr. Mayer in first, Fox in second and Divittini in third, no matter the outcome. Well, that's interesting. Let's hope the battle between Mayer, Fox and Divittini is unchanged. It would be very, very sad to see if it's left on a bit of a sour note. So, heading over to the bronze category, we have Audsley, who is currently 4/10 behind Mr. Fox, followed by Davies in 8th overall but 2nd in bronze, and Bowler in 3rd. There he goes, he has the exit speed on Fox, approaching bomb hole. He's putting the pressure on, really trying to transfer his blue and yellow paintwork onto the tropical drink livery, coming through Coram there. There's some incredibly close racing going on. Coming through Murray and out onto the straight. Is he going to take advantage of Fox on the straight here? Oh, there's been a position change between Roddenberry and Davies. So what happened there? There's been a bit of flashing. It looks like Davies is unhappy with Roddenberry. Just take a look at the replay there, shall we? So Roddenberry looks to have pushed his way through. Davies is showing his discontentment from the manoeuvre on Davies. Let's see what happens with the stewards. Oh, and Brown. Oh, Brown is 14th at the moment, but he didn't have a good time coming through Murray, and he ended up going a little bit too left for his liking. So, looking at Aldsley and Fox, those are the closest racers at the moment. Still trying to transfer his blue and green-yellow livery onto the tropical drink livery. That is Fox in the Aston Martin. Less than 4 minutes to go now. And it doesn't seem that the slipstream is giving Aldsley any advantage down the Beverley Straight. They're coming through the complex of corners, and this is where Aldsley's favourite complex of corners is. Doesn't quite make any distance on Fox there. Seems like the only opportunity for him to be made is if Fox is to make a mistake, but Fox is a very solid driver, so I can't imagine that actually coming through for Aldsley. But nevertheless, this is a fantastic turnout for our drivers here. So, taking a look at the rest of the pack, we have Bowler and Davies fighting it out for 9th position as they hammer it down in the start-finish. Bowler driving for IFWL there. Jumping on board with Mr. Bowler here. We have just over 2 minutes left here at Snetterton. Positions seem fairly final, with uncertainty around Fox and Aldsley in the fight for 6th position. Davies and Bowler are having a nice little battle there. But in terms of the silver category, it doesn't look to be a very satisfied category, with 8 drivers not present in today's race. There were a few no-shows. I do hope those drivers actually registered that with SimGrid before they left, otherwise that's -5 points and a slap wrist. Meanwhile, Bowler is 4/10 behind Davies, piling the pressure on. And then we have Ostercharts and Beiser getting super close. Coming through Hamilton there, onto Oggie's corner. Is Ostercharts going to start making some moves now with only 1 minute to go? Smith giving all the space for 2nd and 3rd need to keep this pace going. flying down Bentley Straight there. Visor swings out, marks his territory. Thank you very much. Oh, there's been a position change between Davies and Bowler. Davies seems to take the position back. There he goes. And he defends his position with ferocity. Taking a look at that onboard camera at the rear view. Bowler's really pushing the tyre. Oh, and he's really lost a bit of time. And there's the announcement. The leader's on the final lap. And as you can see, there is a very clear run for Mr. Hanak once again. Well, last week we didn't see that. We saw a little bit of effort coming out of Mr. Hanak. But I did say I was going to give more screen time to the rest of our drivers, but looking at Mr. Audsley neck and neck with Mr. Fox, has he got the advantage? No, he doesn't. Mr. Fox holds him off coming through Nelson there. He blocks it. He knows. He knows he's got that speed on him through that complex. But oh, and he gives him hardly any room coming through there, but just enough. Coming through Coram. Also thinking, is he going to accelerate? Is he not? Is he not? Has he come through Murray? Shaky wheel, mounting the sausage a little bit and losing a tenth. As they battle it down the start-finish straight now. Absolutely zero room for error on their last lap now. Brown and Divatini fighting 14th towards the back. Seems to be a bit of an error going on the physics. So jumping back to Audsley, there's 0.3 of a second. This is going to be a very, very close finish. So it looks to be unless there's any accidents, the positions seem fairly final as Mr. Hanak approaches the final few seconds of his race. So keeping a swift eye on Mr. Audsley. There he goes. Mr. Hanak is winning the race today. Oh, there's been a position change. Mr. Fox went slightly wide coming through Agostini. Let's just jump back to that view a second. There he goes wide on Agostini. A little bit too wide, eating a bit too much dirt on the outside tyre, sorry. So in terms of positions right now, it's first to third. It's Hanak, Visor and Ostracharts, and then Turner's taken the line. Oh, and there's Fox taking the line through past Mellot. Mellot going slightly wide there. Is Mr. Fox going to be able to take some positions back? Specifically one position on Audsley. Is he going to make it as he comes over the line there? Mr. Fox has his left indicator on, giving us a wink for the cameras. And he looks fairly settled here at Snetterton. And Mr. Mayer takes first place for his category. Fantastic work with Audsley in 6th and Fox in 7th. There goes Raddenbury as he comes into Murray Corner. Securing 8th position. There we go. And there's Davies in the background, who's now taking 9th. And Bowler takes 10th. And there goes Worth. Looks to have had a tough time on the circuit today. Lots of rubber on his paintwork. There he goes over the start finish. Excellent work, and that's all the drivers here at Snetterton who have now crossed over the line. What a race that was. What a race. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to leave you with some highlights, but I'm going to need to give my throat a rest because I have talked non-stop throughout that race. So thank you for joining, and bear with me while I get the replay sorted out. So that was us at Snetterton for round 5 of the GT4 Championship Season 1. And right now, I'm just pulling up some highlights for the race that occurred today. And I will leave you to watch this race unfold.
That was a great race.
Hello there.
I thought you were gonna tell on me, man.
Which was the most exacting battle you've seen? No, it's Visa. Until I crashed. A bit, yeah. Thanks,
Guys,
mate.
it was fun. You all have a good one.
See ya.
Nice one, mate.
Bye-bye. Jim.
Me. Hello.
Yeah.
It's all right. You've had a difficult period of time. Get some water. Oh, good. That's better.
Yeah.
That was insane. Fair play to Foxy there. He was defending like a madman. Is that the sweeping left before the tight 90-degree right under the bridge? Oh, I get you. Yeah. No, I got my technique down there, and okie dokie. Yeah, he had me in other places. I think the first sector he was a lot quicker. Bloody hell, though! Come on. All that. Bloody hell. Okay. That's a shame. It's a tough one, that. It's very tough. Oh dear. Well, I've got the stream to listen to while I shower afterwards. God knows I need it. Looking forward to hearing your commentary. Fair play, mate. Fair play.
I'll rewatch it tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
I rewatched every stream on work. It's pretty
Combination
much
of both.
yeah. Because I work when I watch it, and every time I hear you, oh, whoa, whoa, then I'm watching the video.
Always entertaining.
It's Björn. Yeah, Björn is my first name, and surname is Weiser. Yeah, you pronounced it the right way.
If you pronounce it Winkelspanner, you get extra points.
I don't even know what it means translated to German. For weight. How weird.
Extremely. Yeah.
Thanks, mate. With your S2000 without EBC brake pads.
Yeah, no, I'm using PBS actually.
Yeah, no one knows that.
They work, which is all I can say for EBC.
Yeah, they work for a 1,000 kilo car.
Yeah, well, EBC are actually not regarded as very good for heavy cars. I have proof of that.
I
Somewhere.
prove the opposite. My car is heavier.
Oh dear. Right, if my work ever sends me to Stuttgart, we're gonna have to have a pint
Okay,
or two.
let's go.
Yeah.
We drive to the Nordschleife and we compare lap times.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll stream that. His passenger will stream from his seat, and my passenger will stream from my seat. How much? Easy. Jim, how much horsepower does your car have?
About 247.
Yeah, easy. I stay
okay.
behind you the whole lap, and on Döttinger Höhe, I'm just going to pass because of more
What's your-
horsepower.
What's your top speed?
300 or
What?
120 miles per hour.
Really?
Yeah,
So, 120 miles an hour.
yeah.
I don't know. Why not do 140? I think 150.
Miles per hour.
Yeah.
Maybe falling off a cliff, but not on the straight line.
Hang on. All right. I'll Google it and I'll send you a screenshot. S2.
Oh no, never mind. It's not 120. It's 180. Sorry, I missed.
Oh. Oh. Okay. Fine.
I've. Yeah, I calculated it wrong there in my head.
I was gonna
My-
say my 1.6 Suzuki Swift will do 120.
Yeah,
Just?
it's 180. 300
The
kilometers
valves,
per hour.
the valves are screaming, but yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to pass you on the straight, and I stay behind you the rest of the lap. That's alright. Tactical reasons that I won.
Yeah, but I'll be on Nankang AR1s and you'll be on Pilot Sport 4s.
I can change the tires then. I'll buy some Cup 2Rs maybe then.
God.
Just for this little race then. Or I built my GR86 to a race car, then it's pretty even with horsepower.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
weight
it
as
has
well.
235
Hmm.
horsepower.
You'll have more
Stock.
torque, I guess.
Yeah, 245. Because it's a naturally aspirated engine.
Yeah.
2.4 liters. GR86. No, that's Toyota. Yeah, same car, yeah.
That's the new one, the shiny one.
It looks great. I like it. I'm still selling it, but because no
Why?
one wants to buy it, I'm probably going to keep it.
I would have thought you wouldn't be able to. You'd be batting away offers because they're such sought after.
Yeah, there's not many of them on the market, but looks
I'll
like there are
drive out
enough.
if I can do 10 euros. Is that okay?
Yeah, easy.
Yes.
Crisp. And some good old beer.
Yeah, put in a case of your finest German beer and I'll give you a back rub.
Some fish and chips.
The fish and chips will be a bit cold and soggy by the time I get to Germany.
Okay.
Do
That's
you want a sausage and batter? And some mushy peas?
Gonna be real mushy.
Oh dear. Right, I am going to have a shower and I'm going to listen to the stream. So thanks for that, guys. That was absolutely fantastic.
yeah, was a
Yeah.
good race.
Good racing.
I'll see you for the final one.
Congrats for the class win, Jimbo.
Thank you.
Well done.
Tar. Yeah, don't know how I'm managing that.
It shouldn't have happened, really. It shouldn't have happened because Douglas was doing well. Then he hit the pits. Then Josh had to disconnect. So it's like, the
Yeah.
joy in the victory is just gone.
But
I disconnected last week from Spa and I was really looking forward to that race as well.
I accomplished your wish, Yanis. I accomplished your wish. I gave him a little nudge.
All right.
Small little
Cheers,
nudge.
guys. Catch you next
Yeah,
week.
bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
So there were two people saying I should give Douglas a nudge in first corner, and I said I'm going to send it first corner anyways, and he'll probably come too much to the inside to not give him a nudge. And exactly this happened. Exactly this happened. But he didn't go off track. Or he didn't lost it. Oof.
Yeah.
The Spa race, you didn't see how I lost a lot of positions and time. I was on slicks, because Yannis said go everything, and I went on slicks in the pit stop. I was even with whoever the one in the Aston in front was called, and then the track started drying up. I was 5 to 6 seconds per lap faster at the end, and then I lost it in Eau Rouge. About 2 minutes of damage. I crashed again, about 2.5 minutes of damage, and I finished the race, overtaking Douglas back with the damage in, I think, 4th or something like that. And collecting a drive-through. That's why I went from P2 or in easy P1 normally if I wouldn't have crashed. Because I was gaining like 5 or 6 seconds per lap. To a solid P5 or 4 or 6 or something like that. Very weird and very unfortunate.